Alright, welcome back. Alright, we was just doing some fish bowling. Had some camera issues. The auto adjust, autofocus was really driving me up the wall there when I was earlier trying to record a little bit. So I decided to go ahead and start over, and so we're shuffling up right now. I don't know, you may hear the crying baby in the background, but that's just from the neighbors, so no worries. So I like to just do this and just to get a feel of what kind of draws I can get, how fast I can play my spells. I know a lot of stuff all depends on what your opponent plays, so sometimes I like to try to throw in some crazy stuff just to say, hey, he's probably going to do this, or hey, he's probably going to do that. I know it's a lot easier when you're playing with another person, but right now there's not anybody around to play with, so I have to do this myself. So we've shuffled up our deck pretty good. I like to try to get it real good and shuffled because at the opens or at any of the tournaments I go to, the opponent loves shuffling my deck for some reason. I think it's because of the sleeves. They're so pretty. Alright, so we're going to roll a dice to randomize who goes first. 1 through 3, they go first. 4 through 6, I go first. So it's 6. Alright, so I go first. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just draw 7 cards. And see what kind of hand we draw here. We'll, a Plains, a Solemn, a Piston Sledge, a Buried Ruin, Edge Champion, Phyrexian Core, and Galvanic Blast. I can play most of my cards in my hand, or a few of my cards in my hand. I would probably keep this hand just to the fact that I'm a bad Magic player, and I really need to work on mulliganing. But something about drawing one less card every turn, I can't stand. So I know I can't play the Galvanic Blast, and that's really one of the cards I would like to play, in case he runs out a quick creature. But since I'm going first, I would go ahead and probably run out the Plains to play. And I'd probably say pass turn. He would come back to me, draw a mountain. So luckily we got the mountain we needed. Alright, so if he played a threat, just say if he did, a quick Delver or a messenger, or not messenger, but a grave crawler or a digraph ghoul, I'd go ahead and flame. I would galvanic blast it and say go. Alright, back to our turn. Untap, draw. We draw another Edge Champion. So we'll throw out the Phyrexian Core and go ahead and run out our first Edge Champion into traffic. Possibly he could get countered or Doombladed or something right now because he is unprotected because he doesn't have Metalcrafting, so he's just a 2/2 body. Alright, so pass turn and go. We draw a Day of Judgment. Alright, that kind of gives me a safety net. But since I don't have a double white mana, I would go ahead and play my Buried Ruin. Probably tap 4 and play Solemn Simulacrum, since I do need a second white for my Day of Judgment. So we'll go ahead and hunt up our second white mana. It looks like most of it was at the top, so it was coming soon. Go ahead and put that in play tapped. Go ahead and shuffle back up. And probably call it go. Alright, so, hopefully they didn't kill all my stuff. But if they did, then, more power to them. Alright, go ahead and untap. Alright, so we're dropping land for land. We haven't missed a land drop yet, so let's hope we don't start. We'll draw. We draw another Buried Ruin, so we'll go ahead and put that into play. And it all depends on the board state at this moment. If for some reason I was ahead, I would not play the Day of Judgment. If they've got 10 creatures out, I would probably go ahead and play it. So we'll just go ahead and say we'll go ahead and play it. So we'll tap 4 and play Day of Judgment, which will sweep our board, but we get to draw off the Solemn. And we draw a Wormcoil Engine, which is very excellent top deck. So we'll untap And it all depends on how their board state is. If they leave some mana leak mana open, or you just got to feel your opponent out. And then we'll draw for our turn, which is a Glinthawk Idol, which is an excellent draw. And I would probably go ahead and just tap 2, play the Glinthawk Idol, and possibly tap 3, keeping 1 red mana open because they know that I do have Galvanic Blast in the deck, so I want them to think that maybe I've got one in my hand, and go ahead and play the Edge Champion, considering I do still have 2 cards in my hand. Alright, so pretty much turn go. I didn't leave up white mana for the Glinthawk Idol just because I had played a Galvanic Blast before, and I want them to think that I have one in my hand. So maybe it discourages them from playing their Geist of St. Traft, or not Geist of St. Traft, he's got hexproof, but you know, something that I could kill with two blast. So I would untap and draw, which is a mountain. Not too bad draw. Alright, at this point I'm thinking 2 options here. Do I go ahead and attempt to try to run out Wormcoil, or do I just pump up my champion to try to get some damage? Alright, so probably what I would do is go ahead and just run out the Piston Sledge onto the Edge Champion, because it does come into play on a target, which gives me metal crafting. So now he has a 5/3 protection from all colors, plus I have a 2/2 flying because the artifact did come into play. So, you know, that's 7 damage if they don't have anything to block the Glinthawk Idol. And I'm leaving 4 mana open. So that makes them think, okay, what does he got? You know, I don't know. But because they haven't really seen anything besides the Day of Judgments, so, and the Galvanic Blast. So if I would have left another white mana open, which I probably should have, I should have tapped it more, the Buried Ruins and Phyrexian Core, and then left the 2 white mana open, the 2 red mana. That way they, you know, they could say, well, he might have another Day of Judgment, could have a Galvanic Blast, or something else. You know, he has all his colors up. So, you know, we'll go to the next turn. You know, we've hit him for 7. We'll go to the untap and draw phase. Another Edge Champion. Another excellent top deck. And that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes this deck runs like a deer. So, you know, it all depends on what their board state is, which one we run out. You know, have they hit us too many times? Do I need to bring out the Wormcoil? Do they have Mana Leak open? You know, could they kill it? Do they have Doomblade? You know, so, but we'll be safe here, because we want to keep our good threat in our hand until we know it's perfectly safe to run out there. We'll run out of Edge Champion. You know, if they don't counter it, if they do, then we know he's not wasted. He's used a counter spell that could have been for our Wormcoil engine. So we'll say, you know, since Edge Champion come out and play, he's activated our Glinthawk Idol, and so we're gonna probably swing for 7 more. And by this time, you know, they're getting down to about 6 life, so they're getting desperate. They're gonna have to kill some stuff. Alright, so we untap, or actually, let's say they totally sweep our board. Alright, they Day of Judgment, or they Black Sun Zenith for enough to kill all my creatures. So we'll put all these into the graveyard. Leave Piston Sledge there, and now it will be our turn. Now we have 2 options. I will draw. Oh, look at that top deck. That's like thing, and I promise you, it was shuffled. The deck was shuffled. I'm just pulling these off the top. Now I would most definitely tap this 1 red mana and run out the Slagfing, because he is a considerable threat. Considering I have 5 artifacts in the graveyard, he is a 5/5. Now, say the person I'm playing is playing counter spells, they counter him. Alright, so he goes to the graveyard. Then I would definitely run out the Wormcoil engine. Yes, I do have an empty hand, but I have a Wormcoil engine and a Piston Sledge out there. Alright, and they're sitting at 6 life because I've already hit them with 14. So at this time, we would pretty much untap. Hopefully they didn't kill anything, because they've already used their mass removal, and probably trying to get rid of a Slag Fiend for 5, or a counterspell. They probably already used their removals and their counterspells, so hopefully my board state would say the same. I would untap and draw, and another Piston Sledge, which is an excellent draw. So we'd go ahead and just tap 3, equip Piston Sledge, attack. If it goes through, doesn't go through, you know, I'm not sure. It could go through, could not go through, but you know, that's 9 damage. I would gain 9 life. That's a pretty good game. So that would be pretty much their game. So this deck runs really well. It has a lot of tempo. As you say, we did sweep our board a couple of times, just in case they swept our board. They did count. We got some counters that they could have done in there, but we still had a pretty outstanding board state throughout the whole fishbowl. Like I said, Slag Fiend seems to be good. That is, if they're against blue-black control, they're probably going to be wiping my board quite a bit. So just having a little 1 mana cost creature, by the time they've done their stuff, they probably got that mana leak in their hand and waiting for me to drop the big bomb, and then I drop a little 1 mana 5/5 or 6/6 out there, because they've done swept all my artifacts off a couple of times. He's pretty powerful, because then they'll be like, oh shoot, I should have waited and used that Black Sun Zenith for this, or oh well, I thought he was going to play something big and I should have, now he's got 8 mana open and I can't mana leak it, or something. But so he's really good addition, and I really think he'll fare well in this deck. But as for this is deck bowl, or fishbowl number 1. Hopefully I'll have some play testing. It's kind of hard to play test by yourself, just due to the fact that you know what's in the opponent's hand, so you kind of know what to play around. So this is Steel Piston signing off.